Everybody keeps wondering when in the world Aaron Rodgers is going to finally saddle up and say, okay, I'm going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, because the table is set and it hasn't happened. And are they worried about it? I don't know necessarily that Pittsburgh's worried about it, but the one question I had for you is this one. Why is it only him? I see Kirk Cousins out there, John. He wants to leave. He asked them to let him go. Now, the problem is they got to pay him $27.5 million in 2025. So, that's a big problem for Atlanta right now. But you would think that if they could figure out something, that maybe he'd be a guy that would go to whomever looks for a quarterback right now at this time of year, and Pittsburgh seems to be the team. But they do have a guy that they've got more and more confidence in, and I've seen him play. I think he's decent. I don't think he's great, but you don't always have to be great. But Mason Rudolph, John, is pretty damn good quarterback who's there, but he hasn't proved it yet in the NFL. So the problem is, I don't know that the fans are going to be very happy if they look out there and they love what they see on the team except for the quarterback. So that's why I think that they're still pressing hard to get a guy like maybe Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins supposedly has been, according to the head coach and the offensive coordinator, he has been going to some of the practices and just throwing the ball around a little bit. But he missed this most recent voluntary practice that they got out there, and a lot of media was out there, and they're like, where is he? And basically he just wasn't there. So they might have a little bit going on there in Atlanta. And I think it's something that, would you be concerned if you're a Falcons fan? I don't think so. But it's something to think about, because now are you going to go? I think you absolutely are going to go to your quarterback that you drafted last year in the first round, and everybody said, why? This might be why. And I think that Kirk Cousins, why is his name isn't mentioned enough, John, going to Pittsburgh? It would make a lot of sense, because if you look at Kirk through his career, he's played pretty well in that style of offense and a great defense on the other side of the ball.
Well, and one thing that just confuses the heck out of me, Pete, just as it did last year when we talked about it after the draft.
Yeah.
First of all, why do you sign Kirk Cousins before the draft and then go out and get Penix, right?
Yeah.
You either wait, and if you can't get Penix or whoever else you wanted instead, if you wanted somebody else instead, Penix is great.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't you just, cast your lot with the draft? If you get somebody special in the draft, and let's say that Penix might have been that person, you don't have to blow $150, $200 million on Kirk Cousins, which I think it was a boneheaded move. I don't know who the general manager will be general managing in the future, but his future can't be too bright, Pete, after a move like this, because this is pretty bad. Is it as bad as trading, your whole team for Herschel Walker? No. Or your whole team for, when Ditka was down with the Saints? No, it's not that bad, but it's probably third place just by that much behind those two bonehead moves.
I don't disagree with you on that one. And we'll see how this thing, they went out and got DK Metcalf, one of the better receivers, big, unbelievable freak show athlete. If you go out and grab a guy like him, John, why in the world wouldn't you make sure that you figured out who's going to be your quarterback? And maybe they do want Mason Rudolph to be the quarterback, maybe, but I think that they ought to shoot a little bit higher than that. How about the NBA, John? Now, viewership, and I'm not blaming, the commissioner on this one, but here's the possibilities. So far, the Minnesota series with Oklahoma has had some pretty atrocious numbers. And part of the reason is, OKC isn't exactly, it's the second smallest city of the NBA teams where they've got these teams. And so Nashville's number one, actually. So this is number two. It's interesting because what do you think the ratings are going to be if it turns out to be Indiana against OKC? And that's what it looks like it's going to be. So the Knicks get beat out. The Minnesota Timberwolves get beat out. And now you've got these two teams. I'm not saying the commissioner, it's his fault or anything. I'm just saying this could be a record low, John, at least a recent record low for the championships. What do you think? I mean, it looks like that's the direction we're going right now.
Yeah, when you look at the poly market, for instance, Pete, the predict markets, I'm seeing Oklahoma City Thunder 78% chance right now. Now you can put your own money on it, folks.
Yep.
So don't blame me if you don't like that. It's got the Indiana Pacers at 19%. You know who the Pacers have been playing and beating? The Knicks. They're up 3-1 in that series. So the Knicks have next to no chance. It's low single digit chances. And your buddy and mine, Pete, Pat McAfee, was there last night.
I saw it.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
And he says, we got Spike Lee here. We got Timothy Chalamet here. We got Ben Stiller here. Let's send those some bitches back to New York.
He is a classic. That guy's worth the money that they pay him. Not everybody is. He is worth the money they pay him because that show and what he adds to on game day during the football season and everything else, John, I mean, unbelievable. And who would have thought about it? I mean, the guy was a punter at the Colts, right? I mean, not exactly somebody that, probably not a name that a lot of people even knew who he was when he first started getting into the TV and getting more and more popular. But the guy he is amazing. He's funny, and he will say things that other people won't say, which is makes it pretty interesting.
And do things they won't do. I mean, he'll rip his shirt off on air. He's got a big old, cowboy belt buckle or whatever on. He'll jump up on the desk and start singing Rocky Top or whatever. I mean, he's just the best. But when he called out those three posers, I loved it.
Yeah.
Because those guys, of course, now it's true that Spike Lee shows up for most of those Knick games. Okay. But Chalamet and Stiller, are they like longtime fans or are they fair weather fans that only showed up when they made it into the playoffs and maybe a couple regular season games? That's what I'm going to go with, Pete. So I'm all for sending them back to New York, just like Pat said.
McAfee took one more step up on the ring, man. He's the best.
Yeah. One of our favorite sports, of course, is wrestling. The oldest sport, Pete, the truest sport.
The greatest athletes in the world.
Thousands of years ahead of the NFL or rugby or baseball or hockey or anything, was men in singlets and or naked wrestling each other. And here are two of the all-time greats. And Pete's friend, Hulk Hogan, explaining why Andre the Giant didn't like Randy Savage.
Well, he hated Randy Savage.
He hated him
with a passion.
This old Coliseum is going to witness here.
So whenever I'd see Randy
he was
Andre, I used
one
to
of
laugh.
the, if not the greatest interview.
What kind of a wrestling move
Randy
is
was
that
always
exactly,
worried on
Pete?
how Andre was going to beat him. And Randy
Now that one I
at the
understand.
very
That's
last
just a
minute,
joke.
He'd be all taped up and he'd have baby oil all over him.
Baby oil all over
And
it.
Randy come in, oh, excuse me, Andre, big brother, what do you think we're going to do out there in the ring tonight? And Andre would look up at him, playing cards, and go, no baby oil, get out!
Get out!
No baby oil! And then I watched the match, and Andre would just
He gave him a little extra something because of the baby.
Yeah, I think he got kicked with the baby oil.
Oh, fantastic. Look at the Giant. Oh,
And he just did not like him. He just
Irritated the
beat
hell
him.
out of Andre. I mean, just always.
I hope he got paid well for those matches.
Oh, there's our guy.
Maybe tonight Shiki could try to slam me. Get out, And Andre had enough of his mouth. And one night, I mean, he just took him out in the ring and just beat him to death and like killed him.
who's the guy in the safari outfit?
I don't know. Would that be Kamala's manager, Pete, maybe?
It might be, but what's he doing in the ring? Is he the ref?
Oh my God, somebody stop this massacre. He's going to kill the guy.
I'll tell you what.
He's gonna kill the guy.
Now, Big John Studd was 6.
Big John.
Oh, that's too funny, man. That stuff
I'm
is
telling
great.
you, that's sports right there. That's some real sports.
That's
right there.
sport.
Perfect.